Now you're gonna have to find it like we did before because none of the sharing is not working.
Okay, come on.
The next Democratic candidate, because of the State of the Union in general, is going to have to distance themselves from the administration.
So what
in order to
any of
keep
your
the
viewers in the
Democrats in
future are
another
gonna have to do,
presidential debate.
they're gonna have to watch
The
the
first one was so
19-minute,
great, it
the
was
19-minute
one
one,
that doesn't really
and
matter.
then they're gonna have to
You
switch to
agreed to
this.
several, but the other person won't have agreed to them necessarily. Thinking about the possibility of Kamala running, who the hell is a running mate going to be? This is insane. So yeah, prepare for political chaos.
Okay, you can leave now.
There's going to be plenty
I need
of
help
might
finding
have to
it.
do an
Huh?
impromptu
Just
fucking
do like
live stream.
like we did.
How do you do it?
It was done on the YouTube page.
Okay,
You
what's
gotta
it
go.
called?
Gotta go to the studio.
What's it called?
The Democrats
It's the same thing.
Okay.
suffering one of the most legendary political nervous breakdowns that has ever been seen in U.S. history. It's one of the greatest political meltdowns in world history, and it's happening right before our eyes. How great is that? Honestly, though, again, I mean, if I were a Democratic strategist, I would just let Joe run. I'd say, look, you're going to lose. Quite clearly, you're going to lose. You got the incumbency. You don't you can blame long Voldemort disease for not showing up at the second debate. It'll be conspicuous, but at the very least, it limits the damage some. And you lose, but it's probably by a 2016 margin, maybe a couple of extra states. You don't get completely humiliated, you just lose. I would encourage him to do that. Now, apparently he got the memo, though, that his party leadership is like, look, you've lost the Obamas. Earlier today, the Clintons came out kind of in support of him, and I guess they bet wrong. The Clintons just threw the dice, and they rolled snake eyes, so that's hilarious, too. Oh, we'll be analyzing all of this and much, much more. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do with polling, though, ahead of the election. I got no idea what the fuck is going on half the time these days. And I do this for a goddamn living. So yeah, prepare for some fucking chaos, man. It's gonna be great. That's about all.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Seriously. Oh my god. You didn't even try.
What do you mean the connecting rooms were not confirmed?
Exactly, not confirmed.
I just want to see our kids.
Oh, you'll be able to see them.
When you want your kids in a room that's actually connecting, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay. Beach Day is back with even more to scream about. And it's turning people into full-on Beach Day baddies. Not a Beach Day baddie yet? All it takes is just a taste. So try it before it's gone. Baskin Robbins, seize the day.
Wow, just wow. You know, it's one thing when you see the video footage with everything going on, all the people panicking, all the noise, all the movement, and of course the movement or lack of movement of the cameras. You know, it's one thing to analyze all the video footage, and it's another to put the day's event in absolute detail in an animated 3D render, simulating the bullet trajectory and everything else that happened. There's a 3D render that everybody's talking about. I want to take a look at it. Let's have a conversation. Of course, you know, we got a lot to talk about. We got some stuff to get into. So let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's first start off with the clip. Here's an animated grayscale 3D render showing us all the details about what happened on that day. Take a look.
This is a 3D illustration of how many bullets were fired and their trajectory that struck 3 people at the Trump rally on July 13th, 2024. This is the area we're going to focus in on. Here you can see the 3 victims that were injured by gunfire and where they were standing in the bleachers. We're going to turn around and demonstrate exactly where these bullets came from. This model presents Thomas Crooks. His position can be seen here in this image, which illustrates exactly where he was. Turning around, we can see the path of all the bullets that were fired from this location. I placed a 10-foot red disc downrange to represent what an average shooter can hit easily. Now let's take a look at this first shot fired. Coming from our key location, bullet 1 grazes President Trump's ear. This is the same bullet that hits a spectator in the stands. We know this through video evidence. As President Trump is talking, the first shot rings out just after he says, "Take a look at what happened." We can see the paper trail of a bullet strike, which is the same bullet that struck President Trump's ear a split second earlier, and this video is this location here. Back at the podium, President Trump is shot and grabbed his ear, falling to the ground as more shots rang out. In total, there were 7 or 8 shots, so let's rewind and watch this at regular speed.
Take a look at what happened.
With all that gunfire, it's easy to understand how these spectators were injured, even though they were not the target, including the sole spectator who lost his life that day. As we circle around, we can see how all the paths of the bullets were hitting the location of this forklift machine, causing one of the hydraulic hoses to burst.
Holy freaking moly. You know, I'm not usually one to say this kind of thing, but in this case, I'm sure we're all thinking the exact same thing. It feels like divine intervention. How close was that? A direct line of sight on the president, and by pure miracle, seemingly by God's hand, Donald Trump just happened to look at the big screen at the Jumbotron the moment that triggered his first bullet. What are the chances? Now, there's a couple other viral videos as well, and really depicting visually how close this was. I want to show you guys those as well.
Take a look what happened.
You know, just astonishing, truly miraculous. You know, like I've mentioned previously, 1 inch closer, just an inch towards the right, a slight little, probably from that distance, millimeter adjustment to the right in the course of American history would have been forever altered. But of course, not only did this clip show us just how close it was, it also, again, visually shows us how ridiculous this whole ordeal is. You know, the fact that we have a digital reenactment here, just casually going through the motions. Oh, well, you know, there was just a shooter perched up on the roof there, right across the field. The fact that that's even a thing, again, totally mind-boggling. And it's this shot right over here that's the most shocking. I mean, just look how obvious it was. You have a slightly sloped roof to the head, popping over with the scope, and the response from Secret Service, not a care in the world. Brings us right back to the same question. You know, I have to give all this intricate, eloquent analysis of the events, but really it all boils down to one word. How? How was this allowed to happen? It's literally the most obvious high-priority threat location, and that on its own in isolation isn't even the worst part. Because it's one thing if it's a high-priority risk location, situation where the perpetrator made some maneuvers and got there really quick and just, happened to go on a stealth mission, evading all law enforcement personnel in the process. It's one thing if that was the case, but as we keep learning, that's not how it happened at all. They spotted this character acting suspiciously, not just once, not just twice, but on 4 separate occasions before the first shot rang off. They saw him 4 times, being in places where he shouldn't have been, doing things that he shouldn't have been doing, and not a single thing was done. The whole point of this video is to get a very clear, sober accounting of the events, while we're starting to get a more detailed report. This morning, new insight into the final moments of a 20-year-old would-be assassin, as we are seeing new pictures of Thomas Matthew Crooks right before Saturday's shooting. Local police taking these pictures when they first noticed the shooter, and these pictures of the items found on the roof, including a black cell phone and a gray wireless transmitter authorities say he intended to use to remotely detonate explosives in his car. A source with knowledge of the investigation telling ABC News about the searches found on the gunman's phone, the date of Trump's rally, major depressive disorder, the Democratic National Convention, and bomb making. Images of FBI Director Christopher Wray, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and other public figures found on the phone as well. And investigators are looking into whether the shooter used a drone to surveil the rally site sometime before the shooting.
Oh, wow.
We are also learning it's possible the attack could have been thwarted as late as 6 minutes before the first shot was fired. At 5:41 Saturday evening, a sniper with the local SWAT team put out a description of a suspect lurking around the ARG building. 24 minutes later, a radio call. That suspect spotted at picnic tables carrying a backpack. 1 minute later, the sniper who first noticed him left his position and went to meet a patrol officer. 2 police vehicles moved in position, but at 6:12, those shots rang out.
All right, so Phil Ripoff right here with more on that. And Phil, what stands out to you the most about what we're learning here?
Well, Gio, I think it's twofold. First, the shooter's preparation. As this investigation proceeds, we are realizing this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. He had that detonator we just saw in those new pictures that connected to explosives in his car. Investigators looking into the fact that he may have flown a drone over this site in the days prior just to get a lay of the land. And then the second part of this is the timeline. As they're putting together this comprehensive timeline, we're realizing he was there. They knew he was there an hour and 2 minutes before the shooting, and then just 6 minutes before, a sniper left his position to go and find a local officer to find him, and then the shots were fired.
And just incredible to think about that and see all of the new timelines that we're seeing here. What's the latest and what's the next part of this investigation?
Well, obviously, motive is a big deal. Everybody's still trying to figure out. Some of these shootings, you have a manifesto, you have a note left behind, whatever.
This is now a week in, and we still don't know.
This is a weekend, and they saw the searches on his phone. He searched for the DNC as well as former President Trump's rally. He searched for other politicians. So motive is almost secondary if you think about it, to the fact that this was allowed to happen in the first place. That this information in this hour before didn't get back to Secret Service commanders there, or we don't know that for the fact, but Secret Service commanders didn't know about it on the scene, and they took the shot after he was able to take shots. So the head of the Secret Service is going to be on Capitol Hill Monday answering those questions.
And some big questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much as always.
So let's go through that. At 5:05 p.m., Crooks was seen walking outside the window with a sniper team inside. One of the snipers inside saw him looking up to the roof and observing the building and then disappearing. At 5:41 p.m., he came back with a rangefinder, sat down and looked at his phone, and at that point, one of the snipers took a picture of him, took out his rangefinder, and the sniper radioed the command post. And then at 6:05 p.m., Crooks returned for a third time with a backpack. The snipers called in with the information that he had a backpack and said that he was walking towards the back of the building. Now, of course, some people might say maybe they didn't have enough time to react. He looped around the building, went to the roof, and shot right away. There wasn't any time
No,
to
he was
react.
laying there
The shot was fired
for a
at
while.
6:11 p.m. So from 6:05 to 6:11, they simply made a phone call. Hey, this guy's going around.
Your mom wants you. What'd you take your pen out of there for?
20 minutes prior, now
Let the couch out of here?
moving all kinds of gear and looking at
Your mom wants you to order a pizza for me on
counter snipers.
That was Caesar's?
Apparently,
Yeah.
it's calling to the post command and take a photo of them, but not to act. Not to secure the back of that building,
Oh,
not to stop him, search him, interrogate him. Make it freaking make sense. It simply doesn't.
So did you
And I
see
keep
everything on
asking
Donald
the
Trump
exact same
attempted
questions.
assassination?
Now, of course, we don't have those answers, so we really don't have much to conclude.
The-
here, but I will
It's the inside
conclude
job.
by saying
The,
that's
the Secret Service knew about him like an hour before the shooting.
Yeah.
It was so
He was acting
nice to
Inside
suspicious.
job,
Said
hello.
he had a rangefinder.
Yeah.
Seize the day.
And the ladder.
And then later they find out he had a remote explosive for bombs in his car.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the next one.
It's crazy shit. They wanted Trump to be assassinated. And the only reason he didn't hit him is because Donald Trump turned his head a second before he fired the shot.
I seen that part.
If he didn't turn his head, he'd be dead right now.
Okay, give me
Pick up.
give me sausage and onion.
Right, my bad.
Lighter.
So you want to create your own or pick one? Large round.
I want the sausage and onion.
Sausage and
Oh,
onion.
wait.
Huh.
That's supreme.
The regular supreme.
Where is it?
Right there. That one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Pepsi pineapple for $1.99.
Yuck. Didn't even sound good.
Estimated time 12:47 to 12:52. He said put it on credit card, I guess.
Yeah.
Her bank card.
What?
Her bank card. I guess there's no promo for this. $18.
Here you go.
Okay. 12:47 to 12:52 to be ready.
Okay. Here you go. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm gonna go to my old boss's house and go swimming.
Oh, okay.
Of course, not scripture.
Last scripture, Daniel going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Scripture could go, but you know. look at
You
all
rather
this
sit in front of the
fucking
computer?
game. Yes.
You don't want to make him go, I take it.
You know, because then you have this big
He'll
game.
be, oh, yeah, okay. He'll just be moping around the whole time, waiting,
Yeah.
wanting to go home.
Yep. But Daniel, I can tell him, no, we're not leaving yet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. Nothing like enjoying homemade pasta while celebrating festivals. Psych! Not in Italy. I'm in a hot, windowless studio. And I bet I had you fooled with this amazing pasta from Factor. Not that I don't get paid enough to summer outside of the tri-state area. I'm perfectly content eating my delicious pasta from Factor right here in the good old US of A. When we were deodorant, I put ice in our coffee. Instead of a transatlantic flight, I just pop this in the microwave for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all it takes to get
Yeah. Nice try.
Old church. Buongiorno. Guten Tag. And buen dia. For all you travelers out there, I am Ravetto.
from Quick Trips International, and this summer, let us take you on a journey to one of the oldest and most expensive places in the world. And no, I am not talking about a night on my lap. I'm talking about Europe. Americans are flocking to Europe in record numbers. Trips to Europe increased by 55% in 2023, which is shocking because this shit ain't cheap. The average cost of a trip to Europe usually starts around $5,000, and that's without all the bells and whistles and starting with your air.
Chris Holmes.
You'll be slumming in coach next to a French with a million deal for about $1,200. Oh, ha, 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 ha. You thought you might be able to get one of those nice sleeper chairs for the overnight flight? Yeah, that'll set you back anywhere from $2,500 to $25,000. I heard those rich crits get meal service with real silverware utensils up there. Maybe if you're lucky to smell of their bourgeois, you walk back to steering coach as you nibble on a peanut like a squirrel for $8. But that's the fun. Once you get there, I'm sure you'll be able to find some reasonable accommodations. Wrong. Most mid-range hotels start at around 150 euros. And when we say mid-range, well, you're probably used to chain hotels like Marriott's or Carlton's. In Europe, if you don't want a closet-sized room that was cleaned sometime in the last decade, maybe you should spring for the 5-star. Or you could really save yourself some money if you stay in one of Europe's famous hostels. Hope you don't mind bumping and sharing a bathroom with 10 smelly strangers, usually a group of young drunk students who keep you up late with one of their orgies, causing you to miss your 10-minute tour of the insert old monument. Oh! Somebody was supposed to update that. Well, of course, if neither of these options excite you, you could always stay at a bed and breakfast. The oldest, meanest lady you've ever met.
You never do trust me for so long as if you forget what country you come from.
But no matter where you stay, Port Trips International has your itinerary jam-packed with excitement. You're going to see a lot of old churches, including this one, which isn't even complete yet. I mean, get a move on it, guys. Jeez. Oh yeah, make sure you have a party to cover up those salacious and luxurious clothes of yours, or you'll get kicked out. You could take a day trip to the city that's literally sinking, or this city that's known for being the birthplace of democracy and rampant taxi scandal. Fascinating. You'll also see a bunch of old castles owned by old racist guys, and old ruins preserved by old racist guys, and battle sites of war monuments dedicated to old racist guys who started said wars. By the way, I hope you weren't coming here to get in touch with your family heritage, because your roots might be connected to the bad guys. Yeah, that means Uncle Christoph definitely fought on the wrong side. Oh, and don't forget about the museums. Oh, what glorious museums you'll visit. You'll pay 20 to 30 euros to look at old paintings. And good luck getting a peek at this stuck-up lady. You're probably feeling a bit peckish after all that strain on your eyeballs. Why don't you sit down at one of the fine establishments Port Trips International recommends? Enjoy your short sour. That's pig blood soup. Not everywhere is Italy, folks. Restaurants in Europe also nickel and dime their customers as well, charging for things like water and bread. Ooh, I hope you didn't want ice in that water either. Now, for the remaining 2 euros, maybe you can buy yourself a postcard or something to commemorate the trip. Oh, never mind. Looks like you just got by one of Europe's famous pickpockets. European scam artists are exceptionally good at separating you from your money and valuables. And they lay in wait at the city's biggest attractions for unassuming dumb tourists. While you're admiring the Eiffel Tower or throwing a coin in the Trevi Fountain, they're busy lifting the last euro you have to your name. Oh, hope you didn't plan on getting sympathy from the locals. They don't really love them. As soon as they hear that entitled little accent of yours, forget it.
Stupid American. Think you'd be all the best at everything. Look at Look at me, it's nice.
Oh, are you disappointed? Were you coming to Europe to find yourself in exactly 1 week because that's the only PTO you get from work? That's cute. But this ain't you pray long.
Hello?
Now,
Do you want us to have a code for that?
I need to know
Huh?
the, how you
Do you have to have a code for that pizza?
which you're.
Let me check your email, see what it says.
Hey, buddy, can you lend me €1? No, I didn't got it.
When money goes into your account directly, you can live delightfully. Well, look for
Yeah,
the
280.
280?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, fuck y'all. Got a damn good show. And man, this is what you call the circle of life. What? The circle of life. Yeah? I don't know why this girl posted this video. She added herself too. When men's gonna be men, one's gonna be women. One's gonna be women. A little woman like to pay a different picture. And women, she's trying to get her landlord in trouble. But she also added herself. Yeah. Because she's not innocent. She participated. She's active. She engaged. She's complicit. That's the key word of day, kids. Complicit. That's going to be a position context. Yeah.
more time.
No, that's a really deal. I've done this before, and I think it's a pretty good deal for you. I mean, you don't have to pay anything.
Okay, and what would your wife think?
Who cares what she thinks? Hey, is she here? No. Don't worry about her.
I told you that last time was the last time.
So, okay, you don't seem to get it. You're either gonna take your clothes off and do what we did before. I mean, we done it twice already. So, you can do it again just like that. Nobody has to know.
I'm not gonna have to tell your wife. So,
Okay, I'll put her out on the street just like I'll put a glass out. Yeah, I pay her rent too. No, I pay all her bills. Okay, look, are you, you're gonna do your time. What do you want me to do? Hey, I'll take you on a date. Make you feel better?
no,
Okay,
no.
look, you have about 35 minutes.
5 minutes.
That's right up here, and we do it, and then you can pay me the rent. You don't have to think about it anymore.
Choosing what to use Old Spice Total Body Deodorant can be challenging since you can put it everywhere. That's why I use this trusty wheel to decide. I'll just use it everywhere.
Delivering renewable energy solutions to your customers requires the right equation. The right products, the right services, the right people, and the right amount of each. Graybar's technical renewable specialists have more than 100 years of collective experience, which means all you have to do is tell us you're interested in a renewables project, and we can help you execute it from start to finish. From full resource packages for commercial and industrial solar deployments, to EV and EV infrastructure for various charger levels, and complete balance of systems projects at any scale. With support of our nationwide logistics network, we provide seamless coordination no matter your location. Plus, the help of our 25-year ROI.
This is real or fake? That's real. Yeah. 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 Yeah, white dude wants some black ass, huh?
Mhm.
Here, look, he's hooked. He did it twice already.
He's hooked.
I don't know why she posted this video. You Greeks did this twice. What's the problem now?
What's the problem there?
Stay about that money. Austin, you know, it's weird. Like, if I couldn't pay my rent, let's say the landlord was coming in.
Look, you got the money for rent? Look here. This is what we do. Yeah, I'm dirty, but I'm a man. You gonna get on your knees, huh? Yeah. You getting on your knees. No, if the landlord's a female and she's like, how old is a man?
What is it? Well,
You probably do it. No. He's a man, she's a woman, right? And if the role reversed and I was like the tenant and the landlord was a female, I said, look here. I got no problem. I've done a lot worse. But I'm a man. Yeah. And I wouldn't think less of myself. I just say, I'm earning my rent. I just saved a month's rent. I just saved me today's rent prices, but I just saved $2,500. I ain't got $2,500. I mean, what you didn't ask for nothing more. I don't have to pay no rent. And I get something. You know what? This is a win-win for everybody. But for women, that is hard, man. I'm trying to survive out in these streets. Hey, but women say it's demeaning, I guess. Well, she agreed to it twice. It wasn't demeaning the last 2 times. If I was that landlord, it's rent time. It's rent time. You got rent this time? Yeah, we got no agreement going. I got payment. Yeah, we're not gonna play this game like we've been playing. You've been paying 50 here, 100 here. Hey, you can pay it up right now. You pay it up. Let me just go and bust these nuts. You know? Get your stuff together and then we revisit the issue. You ain't got the game, well, it's time for me to bust my nuts again. That's how we do it, right?
All right, everyone, we have additional breaking news with regards to Biden dropping out of the 2024 election race. He's not going to be seeking re-election. In addition to the turmoil that will necessarily be generated by him standing down but not necessarily resigning, we're not 100% sure. It appears that he intends to stay in office, so the Dems will have to answer to that. That's chaos level number 1. Chaos level number 2 is that apparently Joe Biden is endorsing Kamala Harris for the presidential bid. Now, this is a little bit better than having like a Gavin Newsom or something, but the fact that he endorses her doesn't necessitate that there's not a brokered convention. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is she is a very, very weak candidate. She cannot win against Donald Trump. It would be virtually impossible. Donald Trump's likelihood of winning just went from 99% to 99.9% effectively. Now you have an element of incumbency, and so that's a little bit of an advantage. You know, at least she was on the ticket that the people voted for in the primaries. You also have the possibility of, again, the brokering, number 1. And number 2, you have to deal with the fact that Kamala Harris is not very personable. She's not well-spoken. She's simply not up to the task of the presidency. There's no way that she would be able to effectively govern. By the way, in the meantime, over the coming months, assuming Joe is not standing down entirely and literally resigning, won't foreign powers take advantage of the fact that the U.S. president has said that he's uninterested in seeking another term and incapable of continuing in his role of office for more than a few more months? I mean, why would they conduct diplomacy with him? He'll be on his way out, so they'll be either talking to Kamala or doing what like Javier Milei and Nigel Farage and others that are in power are doing and talking to Donald Trump. This is absolute insanity right now. Ken, I've never seen anything like this. I've been through a lot in my semi-short life. I'm in my mid-30s now. And I've seen weird shit like, 9/11 or Operation Shock and Awe, the Great Recession, COVID lockdowns, and stuff like that. But this takes the cake. This is the strangest meltdown that I've seen, at least socio-politically, in my entire lifetime. Joe Biden standing down, now saying, well, he wants Kamala to carry the torch. Okay, that's pretty. You took Joe Manchin's advice, by the way. on. Somebody you need to pass the torch to somebody younger and more fit. But Kamala's not mentally fit to be in the vice presidency, let alone the actual presidency, and everybody goddamn knows it. The odds of her winning are catastrophically small. They've actually begun polling for this. She fares worse than Joe Biden does. What the hell are you people doing? What the fuck are you thinking? You should have just circled the wagons like Democrats generally do and stood behind Joe Biden. Will he win? Probably not. Will he be humiliated? Probably not. At the very least, he puts up a fight. You know, even if you don't campaign, you can make up some sort of excuse with plausible deniability. Kamala won't have such excuses. She is virtually untested in the public realm. She's been an absentee vice president. Somehow the alternative is worse, where you get a brokered convention. You end up with somebody who wasn't even voted for on the primary ticket. So I don't know what the fuck is happening right now. Again, I'm sure that I will be talking about it tomorrow, both on the live stream that I do and on the Quarterings live stream. The news cycle is going very quickly right now. But at the same time, you know, you got to take a break once in a while. I do want to go and pick berries and shit like that. And there's a family coming over as well later. So I will not be able to keep up live with the news cycle generally. But by God, this has been one of the weirdest couple of weeks within politics. Between the debate performance by Biden, the attempted assassination of Trump, and now this. This is one of the weirdest couple of weeks that I've seen in my entire fucking life. The energy is definitely back, and it's much more like 2016 than it was 2020, although the 2020 election itself was buggered as well and very chaotic in multiple ways. Just look at Maricopa County, where they have effectively been forced, by the way, to partially be fortified. So I think that if we have Trump's back, he's got our backs, and I can't wait till those tax cuts get re-extended and expanded. That's about all.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sunday morning.
Happy Sunday. Welcome to Education, and welcome to another episode of You Laugh, You Lose. If you're new to this channel and new to this series, the game is simple. You laugh at anything today, you lose, and you have to do a punishment. What is today's punishment? Guys, feel nice. There's no punishment today. Two things here. First off, the one thing you have to do if you want to play today's game, just make sure that you are subscribed. You can see here from our last 28 days, roughly 41% of the watch time on this channel is from people who are not subscribed. And a lot of those people, they comment below and say, wow, I was unsubscribed for some reason, or maybe they just forgot to at some point. Just make sure you are subscribed. Sometimes YouTube thinks your channel is a bot for whatever reason. I don't know why it happens, but just make sure you are subscribed. Also, before we get into today's show, I just want to say and reiterate that Zeducation is not a breaking news channel. I know some of you are upset that we've not had more commentary last Sunday about what happened the day before with Trump. Very horrific situation. But that's not what we do here. We're not a breaking news channel. Our videos are reported days in advance, so when things happen like that, we're not able to talk about them on the channel, unfortunately. If you want more of that conversation, we talk about that on the morning show. Some of you may have seen last Monday's show where we talked about that. But that's where we're going to leave those conversations on the morning shows, which is available for free for everyone on all your podcasting apps. So if you want more of that, that's where that will be. Zeducation will continue to be a place where we joke about these things, but we're going to try and keep it light. That's what it's always been. That's what we've always tried to do. So I just had to say that. I wanted to clarify some things because some people wanted more of that, but that's just, it's not what Zeducation is. It's not what it has ever been. So with that out of the way, we got to get into today's show, all right? If you are ready for today's game, head down and like this video. And if you are new here or you haven't checked yet, please make sure you are subscribed and have the bell click for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now on to today's game. If you laugh, you lose.
Go.
When you thought you had $3 in your bank account, but you actually have $10.98. Oh hell yeah! Life's full of little surprises. That's a win. 3 times as much. That was 4. I was the kid. We're 2 memes in, and I'm already pissed. That is a dumb joke. Why I'm smirking? That's not even funny. That's stupid. Caution: may contain political promises. That's not here, folks. It's not here. Oh, and yes, this is the truck filled with political promises. When self-driving cars become mainstream, dead older people will occasionally just arrive at their destinations. That's very dark, but also true. These old people. Let's move on. That's dark. When Sunday night hits and you remember that you worked earlier, Sunday scaries. You guys get them? You guys get the Sunday scaries yet? Some of you never ran from the cops on a 2-stroke as a kid, and it shows. Jeez. You know, never ran away on a 2-stroke, but you know, I'm not going to confess this. We may or may not have thrown snowballs a time or two. May or may not have shot some paintballs a time or two. Sometimes you're a kid, okay? It's before cell phones. I don't know if they do that yet. They even know how to make a snowball now? The kids know how to make snowballs? Honest question. Rice Krispie treats are a convenient way to eat a whole box of cereal in one night. Sometimes you
frankly to me.
Yeah, it's like let's compare it. Addiction. you have one, you gotta have 2. Next thing you know, you have 8 or 9, and you have 10 cans of ravioli. You know? Manifesting a Joe Biden summer. Eating ice cream and forgetting where I am. Yeah, I don't know if you want to forget where you are. Especially if you're in your 20s. You posted memes when I haven't even replied to anyone's texts. If you do this, you're a true meme lord. You're posting memes, and you have an inbox full of messages that you haven't even looked at. You're a true meme lord, and I appreciate you. Love you. Keep doing what you're doing. I pray that I never go through whatever makes y'all drink unsweet tea. I don't like sweet or unsweet. The only time I like tea is if it's an Arnold Palmer. That being said, if I had to pick, yeah, unsweet tea, what's the point? Is there caffeine in it or something? Like, why do people drink unsweet tea? I asked my daughter.
Yeah, there's caffeine in tea.
She laughed at me, called me a boomer, and lent me her iPhone. So the spider's dead, the iPhone's broken. My daughter's serious. You just have a phone book later on these days? Does anyone still have a phone book? Like, do they even make them?
It's really old,
but someone gives you their opinion, so you start looking for where you asked them for it.
We're standing on a dock here outside the original Fisher's Village of Maiden. The retrofit of this pumping station and of the hydraulic bath is done by venting. A large part of the Netherlands is below sea level. We play a very important role in water management all below.
A lot of times we're designing the pump to fix a problem that nobody has a solution to. Our teams with some
All the time. Some people have some really dumb opinions. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe they share their opinion. I've done it before. Share a dumb opinion and, get corrected. Do I learn? Not always. In the comments, okay? Just continue in the comments. Taco Bell menu is like, okay, we have exactly 9 ingredients. Which of these 38 ways do you want them presented to you? Not just Taco Bell. Isn't this like every Mexican restaurant? We were just there not too long ago. One of my favorite places where we live. Phenomenal restaurant. Love it. But it always comes, you order it and it comes out like 5 minutes later. Because they have everything prepared. There's only 9 ingredients. How do you want it? That's it. When you never understood why your parents hated your era of slang, but then you hear some kid say his Riz game is bussin', no cat. Dude, I do. I'm this guy. I'm old. I hate the stupid slang. I'm trying to think, We never had something so stupid growing up. We said cool and dude and things you're not supposed to say. Point of view, you have to spend your vacation in the backyard because your grocery bill has doubled.
Mhm.
Yeah, looks like you got a water table there. That's not a bad idea. Kids love the water tables, man. They'll play with that all weekend. That's a perfect vacation for them. The plexiglass at the grocery checkout counter be like, a couple things here. This was real. This happened. Remember, during the COVID times, they put up a piece of plexiglass and then you exchanged credit cards and they touched all your groceries. It's like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, you guys understand how stupid this is? A lot of people did. And two, there are still places that have these plexiglass things up. Why? I don't know. No lie pulled you over? No, sir. 1987, 7-Eleven on Main. You paid for Coke, but filled your cup with Slurpee. Gotcha. I gotcha. That'd be interesting if, every little thing you ever did is this is your credit. You need a credit. Unless you're in California, of course. Right? That's less than $950. Unless there's a $950 Slurpee up there.
Mhm.
Hey, are you okay? You barely touched your banana sushi.
Oh my god, that is gross.
The tuna next to it looks great. That actually looks delicious. You put soy sauce on this one, with wasabi on the banana. Ew. What was wrong with you? Heard. I'm seeking a trustworthy and honest man. Also heard. Jeez. I mean, not against makeup. Ladies, wear makeup. I don't think that's fine, but there is a line where it becomes too much. Embrace who you are. I feel like that's past the line. No offense this way. We used to be a proper country.
Mhm.
Did we though? Have you seen the documentary? Dude, this was all a scam. There was like one guy who had all the winning pieces and he handed them all to all his friends and family. You guys ever seen that?
Uh-huh.
Genitals don't determine gender. Then why bother removing them? That's a great question. If they don't determine gender,
Why remove?
what's the point? Cutting them off or making fake one. Nobody. Company's on July 1st. Straight heat. Oh, non-homo milk.
Non-homo milk.
That's perfect representation of companies. Normal person. I'll book a flight to Miami. Midwest person. 17-hour drive to Florida doesn't sound bad at all. I am definitely the driver before. You guys know that. If it's under 16 hours, you're driving all day. You gotta think about it, because then you gotta pay to rent a car, you have to do the hassle, pay for plane tickets, go through the hassle of going to the airport, risk your life on a plane. It just makes sense. How to grow your own tomatoes. Step 1. Devote 3 months of your life to helping them grow. Step 2. That's it. Congratulations, you just saved $2. I know I told you guys our daughter, she picked all the green tomatoes. We had one that was turning orange. That's as close as we got. There's no green ones, no small ones, they're gone. The tomato, you turn your head, she's at the tomato plant picking. We gotta figure something out. I don't know. My trainer said to spend 30 minutes a day on my treadmill. Oh, that's hilarious. Make sure you put a little incline on it. 1.5%. Hurt your knees. I seen the baby daddy you picked. You shouldn't be picking presidents. Reminder. And baby mamas as well. Some of you fellas out there, what are you doing? What the hell are you thinking? You're having a bad day. Just remember, there are people who actually bought a Cybertruck. Look, I'd buy a Cybertruck. I'll say it.
I wouldn't.
I'll buy it. I don't care. I'll drive it within a 10-mile radius. That's it. All the electric vehicle people, they get really offended when you talk about electric vehicles. You can find them in the comments. Buy your electric vehicle. I don't care. Thanks, Mom. Do you know what my blood type is? I was just wondering. Nope. You're right. It is kind of an important thing to know. If you've served in the military or if you're in medicine, you probably know your blood type. But yeah, you should know that, just in case. Or if you have a super rare one, I think it was an O negative. I think is pretty rare, but it's also like a universal match. I think. You should probably donate blood because it's a pretty rare blood type. point of view. His buddy says he made it 5 when he lost 2 balls and 3 putting. That's all right. He's got to live with that on his conscience, okay? You play the game the right way, you count your strokes, you better yourself. Better your best. Every day. Nah, man, parenting is easy. Dude, this is, oh, man. We're going through some, the terrible twos, they call it. It's tough. it's worth it. It's tough. You have become the very thing you sought to destroy. Did you guys see this? They gave him this awful spray tan because he looks so bad on that debate. Political ads for the next 5 months. Me trying to live my life. Folks, I've seen people complain that there are Biden ads on his education videos. A, you don't get to pick which ads go on your videos. You don't. That's not a thing on YouTube. And B, be happy about that. If they're putting an ad in front of you and you're not going to vote for him, maybe I highly doubt most of you do are, then they're wasting their money. That's good. Be happy about that. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. In Japan, an AI system designed to distinguish croissants from bear claws has turned out to be capable of identifying cancer cells. Dude, what? Shoot for the moon. Yes, that's deep. That's deep. Whatever happened to this, by the way? Did they get rid of this? Did the government say, oh, no, or Big Pharma, whoever you want to say? Did they say, oh, we can't be curing cancer, there's too much money in that industry? What a household feels like with a clingy toddler. And you're just trying to make a smoothie, man. You want to help. And that's good. They want to help. You got to make them help. You can stir the pot a little bit. White House installs touch and learn activity desk in Oval Office so Biden can feel like he's working while Jill is running the country. Has this been like the last 3 years? And who else is working with Jill? If government was a beer. Look at that. So that whole glass there, that's your tax dollars. And then that 85-ish% of foam, that's how much of it gets wasted. Made weight loss, look it up. When you get a notice that your obvious joke has been fact-checked, are you stupid or something? Happens all the time. We just had one fact-checked the other day. It was, why are there no women transitioning to men trying to compete? And I mean, in trying to compete, being competitive, taking first place, taking medals, because that doesn't exist. And it got fact-checked. Oh, there are. They're not competing, though. They're not like participating. They're taking last place most often. If you think fireworks are loud, try opening this late at night. Wow, is that a cheesecake? Tuxedo cake? That looks delicious.
The point is, it's hard to open it without making noise.
Are we sure you don't mind if we cancel? E. Sadly, that is a good feeling sometimes. Like, yes, learn to sleep in. Well, not sleep in, you have kids, but school is important. But fishing is important. Look, you can fill in the bubble sheets all day. You can get the multiple choice questions. It's not going to feed you. Fishing is. Fishing is. Lifelong skill. But I gotta go to work again, even though I just went yesterday. It's a terrible feeling. But you gotta work, folks. Gotta work. Makes you appreciate everything else outside of work. So, make it power. Middle of a sentence approaches. Kamala Harris. Dude. Here's your punishment for today. Megan, can you play the laugh just for like 3 to 5 seconds here? Here's a punishment for today. So hold on a second. They have legit fact checkers that know all the facts. Why not set up a channel on TV and just give us the facts? And call it the news. That's not how it works exactly. You only report the facts that you want people to know. That is the quote unquote news. Social media has taught me a few things. First, there are some incredibly brilliant people in the world. Second, they are great outnumbered. That gives you hope. Gives you hope for everyone getting the vote, right? Sorry, my phone was on silent mode. National lie. I'm pretty sure you can see if someone's on silent mode too. And if you go to their text messages and try to text them and say they're not receiving notifications right now because they're in silent mode, I think on most phones, it's a setting you have to have on. Play that fucking music, white boy. That's done. Oh, I love this one. How do people chill at home wearing jeans? I literally cannot think of anything worse. Seriously, get some shorts on, some sweatpants, boxers, or jeans. You're not relaxing in jeans. Come on. I'm as bored as an Amish electrician. That's not funny. I didn't learn this in driver's ed. 2 lights, dude. Oh, that is not good.
Come on.
Red
Go.
and
Now.
green means Christmas time. Scrambled eggs, I'll take 2. Deviled eggs, you need 3.
Ooh.
Coors Bank, the same brewing tradition since 1873. Start your legacy.
I don't really get this, but
I think it's a take on the modern businessman. You know, who is he? What is he yearning for?
It's not morons. And sure, art is subjective, but here at the Horton Museum of Modern Marvels, we'll make sure you feel like a big dummy for not knowing what a painting means. You'll pay $30 for a ticket to be in as we stop at you from behind our podiums.
Okay, big shot. What does it mean then?
It's about the evils of capitalism. Which is ironic, considering that this place is funded by some of the most depraved billionaires you've ever heard of. Or maybe you have. One of them's pretty famous for peddling opioids to the masses.
God, why would the museum accept money from someone like that?
Well, they kind of have to. Museums are too expensive and don't turn enough profit to be fiscally self-sustaining. You see, these days, other rich bozos, rich collectors purchase contemporary pieces that museums can't afford like they used to. Even though that painting looks like it could have been drilled out on a canvas by your 4-year-old nephew, this new modern piece called New Blue Boy Unframed by William Krauss cost over $30 million. Collectors will loan them to museums for a price, of course, or here at the Museum of Modern Marvels, we'll do an expansion, and guess what we need to pay for that? Rich investors to put on our board of trustees, or whatever other frivolous bullshit we can give them so that they'll flip over their cash. We'll name a new wing for them, or put a dumb plaque up with their name on it, and they get to write it off of their taxes. And then a protester will spray red paint on that plaque because that particular investor was fracking for oil in enclave of orphanages or something like that. It's the circle of life.
Okay, what about the government? Shouldn't they pay for some of this? I mean, art is important.
Oh, honey. Our government cares less about art than it does about those fracking orphans, which is very little.
well, same
Hey,
Saying it all seems so pretentious. I mean, that guy's right. I mean, my nephew could hate that.
okay, so you'd prefer classical works better.
Oh, she's talking about the old crap, you know, a naked guy next to a horse, or a naked guy next to another naked guy, or a naked woman with a clamshell over her.
Oh, that's the good one. Like,
Disgusting.
Men, such simple creatures.
I'll see the nature's garbage disposal.
No way. Why would I use kayak to compare hundreds of travel sites?
Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today I want to talk about something that is going on in New York City that is enraging New Yorkers, specifically people in the borough of Brooklyn, although there are incidents of this in Queens and Manhattan and all over the city, and that is the fact that the number of illegal migrants running illegal vending operations on the sidewalks of these major thoroughfares has gone up exponentially. And rather than actually bust them up, rather than actually arrest them, rather than actually stop them, the city is, of course, slow in their response, even though there's garbage, all kinds of different hazards. And again, if you're a citizen and you try to open up a clean, legitimate food truck or some kind of vending operation, you would get hammered for not having a vendor's license because, of course, New York, on the other side of this issue, heavily restricts the ability for citizens for this illegal activity. The city of New York is going to bend over backwards to cater to these illegals because that's what they always do. And we're also going to discuss about how they're selling stuff on the streets that's stolen. And also some of these migrants are being scammed because everything's a mess when you do first world prices like New York City, but third world kind of scenery, again, like New York City. Now we're going to get into this, but before we do, thank you for supporting this channel via actionjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money.
Give me the money. Okay.
Look, maybe I'm biased because I'm actually a New Yorker myself, but I love the New York attitude right here. Here you have this public meeting to talk about the issue of these migrant vendors that are popping up all over Brooklyn, New York, in these major thoroughfares, and they're discarding garbage. It's a safety hazard. Some of them are cooking with propane tanks on the streets with very rinky-dink rigs, and this woman wants something to be done about it. But of course, this is New York City, so the first thing that happens when a representative is confronted with the consequences of their own policies is they shift blame to somebody else, and they say it's a sanitation issue, and this woman is not having it. She's like, I don't want to hear that. Do something about it. Fix this problem. And in reality, this is the attitude New Yorkers need to have.
Longtime Brooklyn residents like Charlene and Conchetta say illegal vending is now pervasive on several streets from Borough Park to Bensonhurst.
It's just horrible. No one wants to live like this.
So one of the things that I want to point out that's never mentioned throughout the entirety of this segment, despite the fact that you guys can guess it by the title and from other news reports about this very same scenario and about other issues in other boroughs, is that this is largely driven by the migrant crisis. These are illegal migrants from third world nations that are setting up third world style shops on the sidewalks of these areas.
Most of those street vendors are believed to be migrants, and the mayor did address that. He believes a lot of these migrants are turning to different ways to make a few bucks because some of them are now legally authorized to work.
And again, they're in Brooklyn where it's extraordinarily expensive to live. It is not mentioned throughout the whole course of this video, but the people who are selling food, believe me, I'm a New York City person, the people who are engaged in all of this stuff, the people with the likely stolen goods on display at these tables are disproportionately illegal migrants. The people buying fruit out of a truck so that they don't even have to unload it and bring it into the store, again, are very likely to be illegal migrants. And had that not been the case, had this been citizens, had this been people trying to open up a lemonade stand with their kids running it, New York City would crack down on them in a heartbeat. But because these are the illegals, because these are the god-tier super citizens of the United States of America, in that they're not citizens and they shouldn't be entitled to any of this nonsense, they're allowed to operate without consequences, and you have your local city councilwoman deciding that she wants to set up a zone for them to vend illegally. Because, we're not going to increase the number of permits for citizens. If you want to be a vendor, you're out of luck. But if you're illegal and you're tearing up the streets and dumping trash all over the place and creating fire hazards, then we're going to be fine with that, because that makes our nation look just a little bit more third world.
The worst areas are on 8th Avenue in Borough Park and 86th Street near Bay Parkway in Bensonhurst. Illegal vendors using propane and open flames to cook meat and fish. People overtaking sidewalks with trinkets. Shopkeepers illegally renting sidewalk space to illegal vendors, and dumped garbage that just isn't picked up.
So look, they gave us a lot right there, and you can see people are cooking stuff on the streets. You can see all these different various products. Again, a lot of them are actually stolen, and one of my favorite parts of this story, I guess the one win for the citizens, is that a lot of these people are dumb enough to pay rent to shop owners in order to have this sidewalk space, and they think that's a legitimate arrangement. Now, I do find this kind of troubling, because the reason it's being brought up in this local news segment is because of all the people that are actually going to suffer consequences for this. It will be the business owner, and technically it's wrong for them to do so. But the fact of the matter is, all these other things are not going to be cracked down on in any significant way. And what we're witnessing right here, besides the third worldization of the United States of America, are the consequences of a complete and utter lawlessness taking over. Again, I will say this: if you actually want to be a vendor, if you actually get a truck that is equipped to properly cook stuff for people, and you're not one of those lucky people to get some of the very limited licenses, they will shut you down in a heartbeat. They will fine you out the wazoo. They will track you to the ends of the earth. That's how New York City regulators work. But all of this, perfectly fine. Dumping your trash everywhere, perfectly fine. Again, if I throw out a TV in New York City in the wrong borough, I could be cited for that because of electronic waste. If I throw out an air conditioner without calling sanitation, I can be cited for that because of the freon in there. But all of these people are allowed to dump whatever the hell they want, wherever the hell they want, without any consequences. And when you go to your city council, they blame sanitation. They tell you to call 311. They tell you to shut your face because we're going to set up a migrant vending utopia area all in one location. Absurd in every possible way. And by the way, look at all the different various groups of people that are setting up these vending operations. Look at all the different various groups of illegal migrants that are operating this. And remember, a lot of times we're seeing all these different nationalities represented at our border. So of course, this is a consequence of the removal of Remain in Mexico and of Joe Biden asking asylum seekers, asylum fraudsters, to surge to the border so we can hear their claims. Because remember, that's who we are.
I would in fact make sure that we immediately surge to the border.
Hey, this is Summer Share. I'm one of our capable SUVs. Please submit 2024 Sorento LX for $289 a month. Because every day is non-stop. The Sleep Number Smart Bed lets you choose your ideal firmness, comfort, and support for more restful sleep. So when you're on the go, keep everything in balance. You'll have the energy you need for the people who need you most. Visit sleepnumber.com.
All those people seeking asylum, they deserve to be heard. That's who we are. And the nation says if you want to free, and you're free your cousin, you should come.
Look, New York City is known for being dirty. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've gone to places like Boston. I've even gone to the historical areas of Philadelphia, not the areas that you see in all these different various videos. And I have to say, there is a griminess and a dirtiness to New York City. But there was a time in my memory where you could go to a public park and it was clean. This was actually an effort under those policies to clean up Central Park, to clean up these outer borough parks, to allow this dumping and whatnot. And I remember when I was a kid, and one of the kids that I knew actually kicked over a trash can and all these recyclables down the hill because people always like to destroy stuff. And he was actually confronted by a park patrol person because there's actually people who care about this. They actually have consequences for these actions, and that was something I saw for myself not that long ago in the city of New York. Now, if you're a legal migrant, you can throw your trash anywhere. You can turn this country, you could turn this city, you could turn these public parks into third world hellholes because you have gone to your rights above any American to not subject to health violations, vendor licenses, permits of any kind, and of course, you can dump your trash anywhere and not have any consequences. In fact, they're rewarded for this.
This is 61st Street between 8th and 9th Avenues here in Borough Park. You can see the garbage, including large items just dumped here. I reached out to the city sanitation department. They said they will investigate and clean it up. The city sanitation department says residents need to call 311 and that they have been issuing summonses.
So the sanitation guy says, oh, you gotta call 311 when you see this stuff happening. And honestly, I don't recommend you do that. But then he says we're issuing summonses, so that these people can appear in court. But the thing is, there's no consequences for them not appearing in court. Remember the other reform laws? Remember the whole thing that you get same-day automatic release no matter what? So you can give these people the citations, but again, there's no teeth to those citations because you can't get arrested for it. And even if you do get arrested, you won't be held in jail. And most importantly, if you're an illegal migrant and you're getting these summonses, there's no mechanism in this sanctuary state for you to be deported for this for this third worldization of the United States of America.
When it comes to the food products,
So there's a reason why I hate New York City then, and that is exactly why. Because I don't understand at all if you're going to compost the food that these people are cooking in unsanitary conditions on the streets of New York City. The problem is not that it's being non-composted properly, it's the fact that it's happening, it's the fact that these people are above the law, it's the fact that they're making our city look absolutely disgusting. No rules are enforced against them, and they've been granted all these privileges and immunities, including luxury hotels, in again, one of the wealthiest cities in the history of the world. And you're talking about how you're going to compost their garbage, how you're going to make it environmentally friendly. Shut up, seriously, honestly. They're trashing the city, they're throwing all this garbage and all this waste that is inappropriate to be dumped all over the park. And you're going to tell me about how you're composting. Shut your face. What the hell is wrong with you?
the city got rid of all vendors on bridges like the Brooklyn Bridge by making it a no-vending zone and giving the NYPD power to keep the vendors off the bridge. In this case, sanitation does the enforcement, and thus
Basic illegal activities such as selling marijuana, illegal weapons, or anything of that sort. We would be able to enforce it, or we wouldn't arrest them.
So the police officer says right here that, hey, look, you can't do anything unless they're doing additional illegal stuff, like, selling drugs or guns out there, in which case we'll arrest them, and then they'll get same-day automatic release from jail reform. But that's the only way that we can actually intervene in these particular cases. Now, there was actually a viral video, and I'm sure a lot of you might remember it, of the churro lady being arrested in a Brooklyn train station. Now, a lot of people said this was an illegal migrant resisting arrest, and I can assure you the only place that woman migrated was from the Bronx. I've been seeing her in the New York City subway system for about 15 years. She has nothing to do with this current wave of illegal migration, but they were able to arrest her probably because she was actually a citizen or a legal resident, because that's how New York normally operates when it comes to citizens that are engaged in illegal vending. But again, I said it would be worse, and it's about to get worse, because while there might be punishment for the shopkeepers that are renting out their sidewalk space, in reality,